than I would have like proper English. He's gonna be mad at us all day over here. We are live now, and so would you mind starting out today's episode with a monumental moment? Yeah, just because Arnold, doesn't follow more than a couple hundred people in the world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And this across the table from me is one of the people he follows. How wild is that?
That's crazy.
You know, you wonder what makes people like certain people and not other people. Like, I honestly feel like Arnold hates me. I do. He looks at me like I'm a literal piece of crap. I don't know why. And I have so much in common with Arnold. There's a really good reason for him to talk to me. You know, I was on the Governor's Council for Physical Fitness. I worked for him. I did the inner city games with him.
I'll guarantee if Arnold gets 2 minutes with you, he would think the world of you.
Really?
Yeah, no question about it.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah, I don't even slightly question that. I think Arnold would absolutely.
But why doesn't he? I mean, he blows me off in the gym like I'm just some like attention-seeking.
Let me go the other side of that. People nonstop interrupt him, and so like these weeks, I tell Wally, let's not go to Gold's for me, and let's go to Powerhouse because it's a little easier for me to get my full workout in at Powerhouse, but it still gets stopped. Gold's, we were leaving the gym, and it took me another 5 minutes to leave the gym. So imagine somebody at Arnold's level.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Coming in and coming
out.
out.
I get that, but let me push back with this.
Go for it.
If you're Mike's really good friend, so Mike Ryan is Arnold's really good friend. They talk all the time. So you see me and you walk up to Mike and say, "Hey, this is my buddy Clark. He used to work for you when you were on the Governor's Council. He was with Jack LaLanne and all those people. He just wanted to say hi to you." Wouldn't you think that I would get a little bit more attention than just everybody else running up to you wanting a photo? Like if it came from a good friend?
I think it would. You know, you got to look at it in a sense like where.
Yes, I think
the experience that you got to catch the person in the right mood.
Yeah, he was in the wrong mood for sure.
You know what I mean? So you got to look at the day that particular incident occurred.
Yeah.
So it could be that particular incident occurred on a day where he wasn't in the right mood. Maybe didn't get sufficient amount of sleep. Maybe didn't get sufficient amount of micronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats. There's certainly factors. There could be something. He could have got some bad news. He could have just had an argument with his girlfriend.
Maybe he just doesn't like me.
I think
you either got it or you don't.
No, it's not. You don't want to think.
Maybe you're Big Jeff over here, and he just wants to teach you how to pose.
Yeah, you don't have to always think that people don't like you, because I think the most important thing is this is not a liking competition. It's about just actually being a nice human.
I'm a great human,
and
that's why I'm mad that he doesn't like me.
It was not about people not liking you, because people could dislike you for numerous reasons that you may not be aware of.
Yeah,
it might dislike you because your arms look bigger than theirs, and you're going to be 60 soon.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the original statement is that Jeffrey is somebody that Arnold follows.
Yeah.
And Jeff, I snagged him from, or Mona snagged him from the employment at Gold's Gym Venice.
Yeah.
But that's where the original relationship started with him and Arnold. Jeffrey, you tell the story.
I think the first day I worked at Gold's Venice, I asked one of the employees, I said, so does he really come in here? Does Arnold come in here? And he looks at the clock and he goes, yeah, about 15 minutes from now. And I was like, no fucking way. Sure enough, 15 minutes go by. Arnold pulls in with his bike. And I don't know why I did it, but I just said, yo, bam. And I hit the shot. And he looks at me and he goes, nice, good. Now do it. And he's told me what to do.
Right.
And then he came up and he said, do it like this. And he cranked my arms like that way. And then every time he came in after that, we would add something onto it. And so we just hit this whole routine.
5-piece, 6-piece routine.
Yes.
And there was one point where I wish we had a real film guy, because Serge is doing this. He blows it. Arnold is sitting there, stopped the gym. He's teaching Jeff, pulled Jeff from behind the desk. He's got him over set up. And he's like, now go and move. Now go, follow me. Yes. And he's going through this whole routine. And Serge is sitting there with his phone filming Jeff.
That's fine. know.
the whole time.
I know.
Who
Yeah.
cares about Jeff? Film Arnold filming, talking to Jeff and film it. And it was such a moment.
Like the first time, I don't remember one word he said to me. I think the first time
It was just that.
You're just, like,
we were
buzzing,
just
like,
in it, and he was giving all this, and I was just like, I'm fucking here right now doing this. What's
It's a voice in your head,
it
yeah.
was crazy.
How early was it from you moving out from Michigan? Like was it new?
A month?
Really?
Not yeah.
Wow.
Seriously, maybe like a couple weeks. I came from San Francisco, not
Okay.
Michigan, and then easiest thing to do is get a job at the gym, right? You just walk in, they look at me, I know what to do. They're like, all right, yeah, cool. You start tomorrow, and then it was just like that.
So like the dream of, well, you were already in California,
Literally.
but coming to California and being at the Mecca and someday meeting Arnold, it happened like that.
It
Boom.
more than happened like that. Yeah,
That's
It happened like that to the point of where it's not just somebody, but it's one of 200 people in the world that Arnold follows. So it's a cool concept, and so it's nice that doorway is open for Jeff.
incredible.
Well, maybe you can introduce me to him and say, this is my buddy. Maybe Mike Ryan doesn't have enough clout and you do.
So that being said, just for you two guys, one of your fans here, one of the Bart Tren fans asked, how do you get so ripped and stuff? And so one of my questions to you both is that I know fasted cardio is a big thing, and it's not just a big thing to beginners or personal trainers that are just in the starting. I'm around the most elite, and a lot of the guys that I'm around do the fasted cardios. But I'm talking about the retired guys, the guys that did the competing, and they're somewhat of a shell of their old selves, but they really believe in the cardio. Is that an age thing? Is it a good thing to do? Is it a bad thing to do? What is your take for both of you?
I think, my take on fasted cardio is something that you've got to take into consideration, the scientific rationale behind cardiovascular, behind calorie consumption and calorie expenditure is way advanced than when it was back then. So the things that they were doing back then in regards to doing fasted cardio is what they knew. Just like when I first had my first bodybuilding coach, fasted cardio was on the actual, as to-do list, I'll say, as part of my cardio. And the whole purpose of fasted cardio is they believe that your glycogen level is lower in the morning through fasting, because you have your last meal around, say, 8 p.m., or 9 p.m. You go to bed for 6-7 hours. You wake up, your glycogen level's low. And the whole purpose of that is you're going to burn more calories throughout the day. So your body's going to be almost like a furnace.
So the cardiovascular you're going to do is going to burn calories throughout the day.
More calories throughout the day because your glycogen level is going to be lower when you wake up in the morning. That's the purpose of it. That's the whole purpose of it. The whole idea is that your body's going to utilize more calories throughout the day for a particular task because your glycogen level is a lot lower in the morning when you did that fasted cardio. But scientific rationale behind everything now has changed in regards to it's all about calorie in versus calorie out. We all know, to reduce body fat, there's a massive difference, by the way, in reducing body weight and reducing body fat. We all know that. Reduction in body weight is a reduction in body fat, water, and muscle. The key is reducing body fat. Reduction in body fat, is just reducing body fat alone, not reducing in body weight. But you will reduce body weight by reducing body fat, and your body will look a lot nicer. So the whole principle behind now is about calorie in versus calorie out. So you want to be in some form of caloric deficit. So, again, this is what I explained to you yesterday. You want to find out your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure, which is something that you can find out and see where you're at, what you need daily. I mean, if you're driving your car, I always say use your analogy of a car. If you're driving a car 5 miles, and you drive your car 60 miles, the 60-mile journey is going to require more fuel than a 5-mile journey. So if you're more active, your daily consumption of calories is going to be a lot higher. A lot of people, one, they don't track, so they don't know how much they're consuming. 2, they don't know what a TDEE is, meaning they don't know what a total daily energy expenditure is, and they don't know what they're burning per workout. I mean, the smartwatches are great. You can get a smartwatch, but they're not accurate. But the whole purpose of fasted cardio, I think, is very dated. So without me going off topic, I think it's a very old school way of thinking. It's something that I don't particularly believe in, but I find it hard to eat in the morning sometimes. Like I explained to you, off camera, saying I find it really hard to eat in the morning sometimes. I have my coffee, and ideally I might have a banana and then do my cardio. But lately, I've just been finding it really hard. My stomach's been very temperamental. So, should you be doing faster cardio? I'll say no. Should you be monitoring your calorie versus your calorie in, your calorie out? I'll say yes. No matter what you're doing, you want to be in some form of caloric deficit, and your calorie in versus your calorie out, and that's where you're going to reduce your body fat. We're not trying for weight loss, we're trying for body fat reduction here. Your weight loss, your weight will come down gradually. I mean, like I've shown, I can drop 20 pounds in 8 days. By using a lot of other technique, dropping water weight, some body fat, some muscle, but I can drop 20 pounds in 8 days, which I've done. So going back to your initial question, should you be doing if you're a young guy out there, and should you be doing faster cardio? I'll say no. But should you be doing some form of cardio? I'll say yes. When should you do your cardio? Whatever time is best for you as an individual. Can you do it in the morning before you go to work? Do it. If you can't do it in the morning before you go to work, do it post-workout. Whatever time is best for you as an individual, that's all it is. It's just like training. Should I train in the morning, afternoon, evening? What should I do? What time is best for you to train? What time can you get to the gym and actually be able to complete your workout, feel sufficient energy to complete your workout without any problems? So that's it's just simple. Simplicity. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss it.
Let me ask you, Clark, when you get that camera pulled around, and same question for you. Do you like fasted cardio? Do you believe in it? Is there some benefits from it, or what's your take?
I think that for some people there is, right? I don't do anything on purpose. Like I do everything by how I feel because I've been doing this so long and I know what works for me. What I loved, what you said the most was people get hung up on when to do cardio or how to do cardio. If we sat here and said that fasted cardio in the morning was the way to go, that would eliminate so many people from doing it at all because they can't do it in the morning or whatever reason they have. So the fact that you just said, whenever you can do your cardio, that's the best. If you happen to have just eaten, still do your cardio because I don't want anyone to think that the only way to get a benefit is when you're fasted. You might get more of a benefit.
Say that one more time for them because I absolutely love what you just said.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to think that the only way you're going to get a benefit from cardio is if you're fasted, because that's what fasted cardio would make me tend to believe. So the human mind automatically says, oh, I can't wake up at 5. Oh, I just ate, so I'm going to just skip my cardio today. I would rather have
before you go on. That's such a great point. It's not the point that you made about fasted cardio. That's a metaphor for a lot of this stuff.
It's all of it.
Wow. I'd love that you said that. And so you say protein over carbs. You say fats are good for you. Fats are bad for you. That really does resonate with these people, and they're stuck in that mode. So that's beautiful.
Yeah. We got to realize who we're talking to. We're anomalies. We are a different percent of the world. And it's not that we're better and anyone's worse. We've just dedicated our life to looking a certain way. Let me give you an example of what that looks like in real time. This morning, I'm having breakfast at this little restaurant. I'm minding my business, had a nice vegetable omelet. I'm enjoying it. Out of my peripheral, I see a guy walk up. He's my height. I found out later, 280 pounds. He looked right at me and he said, I need your help. Oh, wow. So if my first comment to him was, well, I need you to do fasted cardio, eat whitefish and asparagus and do all this sort of stuff, I would have completely lost him. But he said, do you mind if I sit down? I said, please do. So he sits down and tells me I'm 5'8", 280. I said, I need you to get on the phone with somebody who's lost 100 pounds like you need to. So I called one of my guys. They got on the phone and I let that person who's closer to him in proximity with what he needs to do, speak to him on the behalf of someone who understands him better than I do.
That's great.
So I told this guy, and I looked at him straight in his eye. I said, you will die if you don't join my program or someone's today, because you walked up to me. You saw more than my bicep. You saw something emanating from me that said, this guy can help. And I said, you happen to sit down with the #1 guy on planet Earth to help you. How did that happen? If you don't join my program today,
Jeffrey,
it's going to be rough.
Close down the shop.
So
thanks.
Anyway,
I think that's great. I think
right before you go, real quick, just so going back to the point of fasted cardio, They both made great points. The one thing I do absolutely love is the fact of you saying that.
Do you want me to tell him to stop?
No. Just shut this and then shut the door so we don't hear it as much. Yeah.
I want to address this guy here real quick. Come on now. Listen, if you have a coach in any aspect of life, if that coach doesn't look at you and say, I'm the best person on planet Earth to coach you, I highly recommend you get a different coach.
Did he say you're
So
not?
he's
the
like,
best?
come on now, questioning my comment. I'm assuming. So I could make the wrong assumption. If I'm assuming wrong, I apologize. But I don't think I am because I know how people act on this platform. So
I think you got to back yourself. You got to bet yourself. You got to put yourself on. I mean, I said to Mike, I'm going to win my 5th world title. You got to back yourself. If you can't back yourself, who do you expect to back you?
Right.
You're the best at what you do. You believe in yourself.
Yeah.
So you are the best at what you do.
100%.
And whatever anyone says on social media, I mean, all the keyboard warriors, get away from your keyboard and get yourself to the gym, put in the work that's necessary and see how it feels. Let's go.
Okay. What was your next statement you were going to make?
I mean, the statement that I just wanted to make in regards to what you said with regards to fasted cardio, I just think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on things that were done before them, and they don't really look at what's actually where they are at. Because everybody's situation is different. Everybody's ability to do cardio is different. I mean, people start off with, I give my clients as little as 20 minutes.
Go for it. Post it.
20 minutes cardio to start off with.
Oh, I
Just to give them the limited amount. Just because if you go straight into 30 minutes.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, just hey, you leave this stuff alone.
Right.
Well, he's
trying
just
to
blocking people
I
and
was trying to
stuff.
pin
And
it.
the guy had a great
Sorry.
question. We're sorry about that.
I was like, I didn't see anything bad.
How do I undo
I already got the bullshit out of here.
him? I was trying to pin his comment up at the top.
Jeez Louise. Wally, we're sorry, man.
I had a couple of.
What was the question then?
I didn't get the question. No one asked me the question. The question
Clark, before you ban this lovely individual,
Sorry, Kevin.
what was
My
he trying to
apologies,
ask?
Kevin.
What was he trying to ask?
He was saying he needs to lose weight. I was going to tell him he needs to hire you as a coach.
I mean, a lot of.
Is he back?
No, fuck no, he's not.
He's
back.
gone forever.
He's gone
He's
forever.
gone.
Oh,
You just-
God, that's
He's
horrible.
gonna gain weight now.
Now he's gonna gain weight. He's gonna
I just
be.
completely blew that whole thing. That
He's,
happened
Yeah.
this
he's
morning.
gonna go from 260 pounds to 240 pounds overnight.
He's gonna go to breakfast tomorrow. There's gonna be Ron Jeremy, and he's gonna go down and sit down next to him
How
and
come
say,
don't
"Hey,
even-
can you
cannot
help me?"
ban someone, right?
Jeez.
It said
Hey.
pin to.
I say, boy,
quarantine.
leave this alone. All right.
I don't know what platform he was on.
Are these all different platforms?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good job.
Good job, Clark. Wait a
Wait a
And
minute.
thanks for coming over
Yeah.
today.
Right there. Can you
Can I do what?
go to that and like click back?
Oh,
I don't
this,
know.
look at this guy.
You're the fuck-
You're
you're tech support
the
now.
guy that's doing this.
You're the admin
You want
now.
to keep going?
Just show
Come
me.
here, Titan.
Maybe don't hurt me.
Titan.
Yeah, Michael Hearn.
Come here,
Lifestyle.
come here,
We've
say
got,
hi.
we've got some positive comments on your feed.
Yeah.
You're
Titan.
the best coach. I like what you said. Great knowledge. So I think a lot of people out there. I think guys, you just. What's up, Titan?
Baby, don't hurt me.
No,
Okay, wait a minute.
Good to see you, man. You been playing with
Baby,
your football?
don't hurt me.
Not that. That's okay.
So, without us going off topic, guys, I think what you've got to look at is the circumstances you're under. Look at what you want to achieve first and then visualize it. I always say this to my clients, get yourself a vision board. Visualize yourself actually looking the way you want to look before you actually achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Nothing's impossible. The only difference between us is we do the same thing repetitively all the time. A question was asked in the great book that I read, Atomic Habit. What's the difference between an amateur athlete and a professional athlete? Amateur athletes get bored very quickly of doing the same thing, where professional athletes will consistently do the same thing day in, day out so they get it right. We can do it without even thinking.
I'm gonna take the vision board comment one step further and
Oh,
say,
please.
get yourself a vision person like we all have this morning,
Yeah.
and get in proximity to that person.
Oh, yeah, so
Instead of putting a picture of someone on a wall, get in the presence of someone who's doing what it is that you want to do
Yeah, that's a great.
and hang around that person, right? How much did everything change for you the minute he touched you, like
Right.
pressed against your
Yeah,
back? It's like,
amazing.
oh, snap.
Little thing.
Oh,
Yeah, the minute Arnold taught you how to pose, the minute
Oh.
Mike you know,
It's
encouraged,
amazing.
you know, some guy in the gym today by taking a photo with him.
If you guys don't know, we had a workout today with Robert Robinson, and we actually, first of all, I get to train with him a lot, but it was so fun for me and Jeff to see Robbie look at the 5-time world champion over here. And then Clark has been here before with Robbie, and there's a, I guess, like a in the trenches kind of attitude with Clark and Robbie. So you got these veterans that are like meaty and aggressive, which is great. But then also then Wally came in, and Robbie was over there talking about, who's this? Who's this? I go, that's a 5-time world champion. He goes, he looks good. He's big. He's put muscle on. That means he can get better. and this is Robbie. This is how Robbie talks to me. He's like, just leans in and kind of goes, all right, he's got to get better, though. We're going to make him better.
I love that.
And it's like, if you
I
ever
love
see
that.
Mr. T in Rocky, that is Robbie Robinson off camera, that aggressive. He is like, baby, you want a real man? Come over to my apartment. I'll show you what's up. So what they're talking about is being around that. And that's going back to your vision board.
Yeah.
If you can't have somebody like Robbie, have somebody that's ahead of you.
Yeah, definitely.
there's-
I got a phrase that I use: eagles don't fly with pigeons. If you surround yourself with pigeons, if you have 4 pigeons and you surround yourself with 4 pigeons, you're going to be the 5th pigeon. If you surround yourself with 4 eagles, you're going to be the 5th eagles. You know, like I would not listen to a financial advisor from a guy that drives a
Pinto.
Ferrari, but lives in a rented accommodation. I still wouldn't listen to financial advice. Would I listen to financial advice from a guy that a billionaire that, you know, has a fleet of cars, has multiple businesses, and have a very successful life, and have a beautiful family? To me, I look beyond the financial rewards. I look at the lifestyle they're living, what they're doing. They have a beautiful family. Are they family orientated? Are they chasing bunnies everywhere? You know, snow bunnies everywhere. You know, snow bunnies are women, by the way.
What other questions we got? I got a bunch of stuff over here.
Jeffrey, do you have any questions over there?
Ones that I haven't blocked.
Yeah.
He's
Good thing.
just in
Do you guys have any
timeout.
friends that look great but don't take any supplements at all?
Say it again.
You were taking no supplements for a while, right?
Ooh, let's talk about this.
The only thing I take is creatine.
Yeah.
And
Protein
multivitamins.
pounds?
Well, I don't consider that a supplement necessarily, but yeah, I guess it is a supplement. I take protein powder. I take a multivitamin that's blended
yeah,
for me
I don't think a
specifically
protein
based
powder
upon
is
my
a supplement.
based upon my nutrient gaps and my blood work, and I take creatine.
Okay, let's talk about that because I would love to go into that a little bit further. So, to the layman's person, I think you all understood it. There's a point when you're getting your blood markers done and you're taking too much arginine, or you're too much vitamin C, or too much vitamin D, or something. So you're taking enough to where your blood markers are good, and not too much. And so, is that why you're back down, or did you ever have a large amount of supplementation and then you did your blood work and you're like, no, I'm good, I don't need to do all this?
I don't think I've ever gotten to a point where I thought, oh, I'm good, I don't need to do anything else. I just, full disclosure, I'm lazy, man. I don't like taking a boatload of supplements and having all these jars of things. I'm like, I'm going to just get at the bare minimum and use what I need to do. So I have my little packets made for me. When I was introduced to it, it just made sense, because in addition to all of what you just said, people are taking synthetic supplements that aren't doing anything for them. They're not digesting in the body, so they're not being assimilated,
Give some names of
providing the nutrients. I don't want to bash any brands, but any big box store you go to, and if you shake the freaking container and it sounds like rocks inside the jar, there's a really good chance it's a synthetic supplement. Your body is not going to digest it. You need a pre-digested whole food vitamin.
Okay.
Pre-digested whole food. So that way your body can assimilate it and use it. And you need what your body is lacking, not anything more and nothing less. How do you know that? You got to get your blood tested. There's no other way to know. You can't go guess and buy 1 million bottles. How many people waste so much money every month on supplements? Nearly everybody, if you're not getting your blood tested. facts. No one
So
can argue.
when you mean by pre-digestion, just break it down for the layman's person out there so they can understand.
So it's already put into, like, there's a digestive enzyme.
Yeah.
So there are digestive enzymes in fruits and vegetables. In most of the fruits and vegetables, most people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables to get the digestive enzymes in there to help. Because here's the bottom line. You're not what you eat. Everyone says you are what you eat. You're not. You're what you digest. If you don't digest, you die. That's the bottom line. So when you're eating food and you're not digesting it, your body's going to tell you. So a pre-digested vitamin is something that's already been put in the enzymes, and it's there. It's already 3/4 of the way through the process. So you put it in your gut. Now, whatever food you eat next is being activated by those enzymes that are in your gut, waiting to activate whatever it is that goes in there next.
Yeah, I understand.
Right? Makes sense? So
Like a probiotics or like a probiotics or
and
digestive enzyme.
prebiotics and-
Let's jump from Clark over to Wally for a second, because Clark's not on a lot of supplementations right now, and you do take supplementations, right? I've
Yes.
seen you, and you came from the UK, and you have your baggie with you, which I absolutely love for you guys at home. I just like seeing that disciplined individual, and so he comes down every morning, and he's got his bags of full of different types of supplementation. Continue,
yeah.
please.
So what I use in the mornings, though, for me, when I first wake up in the morning, I think it's so important to drink some water. Before you take any supplements, I try and drink a liter of water since I wake up, before I have coffee, before I do anything. And then at the same time, I might then use some form of like a B12, with a vitamin D. They did say you should take your supplement with food, but I might use just a little bit of B12 just to give me a little bit of energy, and some caffeine tablets in the morning just to get me wake up before I have my coffee. And I have a coffee, just a small little coffee. Then at my meal time, then I'll take my vitamin B complex, vitamin 12, vitamin B12, excuse me, vitamin C. I try and use around 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, most times, which is very good. Omega-3 fish oil. I'm taking CLA at the moment. I think it's really, really good for you. I take some chondroitin and glucosamine for my joints, which I think is very important. Because I have a lot of joint issues. I got older as well. So for the anti-inflammatories, the fish oil is great. For me, I think the fish oil is one of the best anti-inflammatory that you can take. But make sure you get good quality fish oil, and that's about it really. But digestive enzymes with my first meal and my third meal. So, when we talk about probiotics, I take probiotics in the morning. Digestive enzymes 3 times a day. I eat 5 times a day. I take every other meal, and I think it's really good. I mean, I've had a discussion with you about this, and I think it's so important for the average individual out there. They may suffer from bloatedness. Digestive enzymes and probiotics are really, really good. And at the same time, your body will adjust, because you might go from, for example, eating 2 meals a day to eating 4 meals a day. Now your consumption of food is higher. Your consumption of protein is higher. Your consumption of carbohydrates is higher. Your consumption of fats is higher through just eating more meals throughout the day. So your body will take a little while to adjust to that consumption of food. So I think what you can do to help and support the body in the digestion of foods is digestive enzymes. I love my, L-carnitine as well. I use L-carnitine in the morning as well. You can use it before. I use it before I do my cardio.
Are you a creatine guy as well?
I do use creatine, but I don't use it
around your show.
No, because of the creatine monohydrate, you have a lot of retention of water. And what I'm trying to do is flush my system from water. So creatine is a great supplement. I think it's one of the best in the market. You should be using creatine. I'm a great believer of creatine, but I just feel really brutal sometimes. The creatine holds a lot of muscle in the muscle belly, a lot of water, in the muscle belly. So when you're holding water as show, you look you want to look shredded. So for me, I come off creatine, I come off protein powder at least 8 weeks out from a show, because I want to get as much nutrient from whole food as possible. So I make sure I'm consuming sufficient amount of protein, sufficient amount of carbs, sufficient amount of fat, and then I back it up with digestive enzyme, omega-3 fish oil, vitamin B12, vitamin K2, vitamin D, vitamin E, all of those vitamins that I really try and make sure that I consume. I mean, post-COVID, we know how important vitamin E was for us. You know, they talked about vitamin E and the benefit of vitamin E during COVID, and I think vitamin D, vitamin D during COVID, I think is very important. The vitamin D is very important for you to consume.
Who's Mia?
That was
What's going
Winnie.
on here?
Winnie.
Who's Mia?
So,
Do you only
mind-
like carnitine during your prep
yeah, L-carnitine is great.
all year round?
Not all year round. No, not all year round. Just I
when you're on
think
prep?
L-carnitine is really good during the cut. During the cut, it works really well. I think it works really well during the cut phase. If you're kind of dieting down, you know, like for example, what Mike's doing right now, dieting down.
He's dieting now.
Yeah, dieting
Just started. Be patient.
Yeah.
Be
Scale.
patient.
down. Yeah, so
Obviously,
L-carnitine-
the error on the scale is
L-carnitine-
just racist
Yeah.
against me. Doesn't like fat
Yeah, I
people.
think L-carnitine is a great supplement. I think depending on what brand you get, some might say use it before you eat. Some might say use it with food. But you know, like Mike, I use it if I'm going to do cardio in the morning. You know, again, I'll use it in the morning before I do my cardio, before I eat, and I'll just take another one during the day at some point
Do you ever take L-carnitine?
during eating when I'm eating. L-carnitine is a great supplement.
I find
Absolutely,
it triggers
fantastic.
me mentally.
Does it?
I find it does. Now that might be me.
This is
I don't
what
know the
triggers you
research.
mentally,
yeah.
Sitting next to you triggers me mentally. But Clark, do you mind giving your opinion? No. Giving your opinion on what Wally was just saying with his probiotics and his supplementation.
Probiotics and digestive enzymes. What's your opinion?
Well, I said that prior to. You have to have a digestive enzyme and probiotic, because if you're not digesting your food, you will die. I mean, you have to. And people are malnourished, even if they're overweight. You can be malnourished and overweight. We have this concept of someone being malnourished. This little kid in Africa, skinny with a big belly. That is not what malnourishment looks like. Malnourishment is not getting the vitamins and minerals in that your body needs to be healthy.
But we've got to break down the supplements as well, because we've got essential supplements, essential vitamins,
Right.
and non-essential vitamins.
Right.
You know,
And what is the difference?
The difference between, you know, the non-essential vitamins is actually the ones that your body produces. You know, and the essential vitamins is one you don't produce. So you got to try and make sure you're getting sufficient amount of those in.
Like DHEA, vitamin D,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for the badges, y'all. Appreciate
You
all
know,
that
so I think
time
it's
and
so
support.
important. I think so important that we do realize that supplements have their place. And I think like what you both said earlier on makes perfect sense. You've got to get your blood work done to know what you need. Don't just go and buy, oh my God, the biggest guy in the gym. What do you take? Yeah, I take this, I take this, I take that. And then all of a sudden you're going to spend $200-300 a month on supplements. It doesn't work that way. You've got to find out what you need within your body and actually make it work for you.
Let's get this question here for you, Mike,
Yeah.
or
Wow.
everyone.
Thank you, Titan.
Thank you, Team Titan. I heard Mike mention when doing squats, think like a spring going down and exploding up. What is a good tempo to do? Do different exercises have different tempos?
Oh, for me, I think it's the individual. And I think what was great today, and I don't think we captured it, but we have Robbie here all the time, so I will capture it next time. There's a loading that for me and Robbie, I've noticed this, and I've noticed this with other guys, but maybe a little senior, me being a senior to these young kids. We load the weight, like he was just talking about, like a spring. So that first rep is if you can visualize this, I'm never going down. I'm always forcing it up, but it's lowering. And I'm getting ready to explode up and taking my time and letting the body contract and stretch into that smaller position. And then I explode through. But we move through that first one very slow. And I think you'll find your speed. But what I like today's workout is, and we'll show this maybe at some point here, is that Robbie loads that weight, especially when it's a stretching exercise, when it's pullovers.
Mm-hmm.
You see on that first pullover, he was going back. And I know that most people will look at that and go, oh, he's trying to get the connection. Not really. it's trying to see if there's any hiccups in the shoulder. Is there any hiccups in the elbow? Is anything going to catch and put me in a bad position or injury? And he loads that up in such a slow and controlled way. And then when he gets there, your mind switches to like, I still got it. I can crush this. And that's why Robbie Robinson at 80 years old was doing pullovers with 100 pounds with pristine form.
Yeah, slow.
And it was beautiful. And it was beautiful to watch him work with these guys today and just little details that Robbie does. And so for that, I appreciate that question, because I don't think a lot of people think of it that way. They just go, let me get down so I can get up. Let me get down so I can get up. And let me just flex it on the way up. And we're still here today because of it being slow and controlled and not being in a rush.
I'll take it one further than that. I think a lot of people look at weight training, especially for body composite goal and bodybuilding purposes, as they just got to get the load from point A to point B as quickly as possible. And I think a lot of people miss that connection, muscle fibers. And I know I mean, sometimes when I'm doing a set, I do it a little bit too quick, and I've got to remind myself to slow down. So when you ask about tempo, I know exactly what you're talking about. People need to be prescribed a specific tempo so that they can understand. Like a back squat, for example, is it a 3 seconds eccentric loading of the muscle fiber? Because you do like a really beautiful tempo. You also almost like a 3 to 4 second eccentric loading of the muscle fibers. And you get into that sort of isometric hold at the bottom, you're there for a second, and then you're coming up for like, you don't explode up, because people, when they think about exploding up, they're thinking of that boom. You don't explode up, you control the movement coming up. So it's almost like a 3 seconds eccentric loading, 1 second hold at the bottom, and 2 second concentric loading as he comes up. But he's in full control of every single part of that movement. None of that movement, because gravity has one thing. It's only going to go down. Yeah, it's going to pull you down towards the ground. So when you're loading the back squat, for example, it's very easy to just drop down, but it's very hard to control the weight going down. So when you're talking about tempo on a back squat, I'll say, you want to be like going 3 seconds eccentric loading, 3 to 4 seconds eccentric loading, 1 second isometric hold, maybe 2 second concentric hold coming up, and then 1 second hold at the top. So there's 4 numbers when you look at the tempo of an exercise. I would say 3, 1, 2, 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I will give to someone if you're asking for tempo. And I hope that really answers your question, because I think that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that sort of numbers so you can register in your head, how slow shall I be going? So 3 seconds, 1 second hold, 2 seconds coming up.
Do you have any take on that when you move through?
Yeah, I mean, it's just time under tension. That's all
it.
we're really talking about. And,
Exactly.
and to go to the even further, yes, on all of your questions about that, you need that time under tension. You can benefit from a little bit faster. You can benefit from doing a 1 minute rep like Mike has done before, where he held the actual stopwatch in 30 seconds down, 1 second pause, 30 seconds back up. Talk about time under tension. So I say this all the time, and it's important to understand. The human body is the most adaptive organism on the known universe. It will adapt to the demands that are placed on it. So if you just only did what he just beautifully described here forever, your immune body is going to adapt to that. So you have to change it up, because that's the beauty of this machine that we get to live in and operate every single day. But the problem in the industry has become 3 sets of 10 and all of these different protocols that everybody abides to because somebody in a magazine said so.
Yeah.
But change that stuff up, man. That's why Mike always talks about being an athlete. An athlete is not limited to just lifting a weight a certain way. An athlete does athletic stuff. That's what we got to do. We got to operate gracefully on this planet so we don't get injured, so we can have fun.
That's a great lead
so we
into
can
this.
dunk at 50, 60 years old, so we can do all of these things, man. Don't get me started now.
So
Get him started.
So the point there is, and I said it to you guys before, when I say leash off is that ugliness. Get into it. Get into your reps. So that leads me into this next statement is Heath Evans was just here. And Heath is this anomaly that I always talk about, because regardless of me teasing him and stuff and calling him fat boy and everything, there is an incredible amount of when you see, and we see this, we see these genetic freaks walk around. And I know that you think maybe I'm got good genetics and stuff like this. Trust me, I've dieted my entire life and I've trained my entire life. So I don't know how good genetic wise I am, but I'm pretty darn consistent. But guys like Heath, impressed the heck out of me.
Yeah.
And for you guys out there that say, I don't know if I have good genetics or not. You don't know until after the fact. So that disregard that, put in the hard work. And then I just wanted to talk about Heath and piggybacking what you said. Your body adapts to what you do. And I love the off-season approach, which is tough for a lot of people to go off-season.
Oh, yeah.
But Heath is a 280-pound guy that trains, let's be honest, he just does body weight workouts and maybe trains 20 minutes every other day, and eats donuts and pizza. But he walks around at 280 pounds looking like that. Now, if that guy dieted for 3 months, we've seen what happens. And if he trains for 3 months with me or somebody else like me, he gets absolutely ridiculous. And so he set his body up to where the off season is a beautiful state. And so for off season, can you guys talk about a little bit about being smart on the off season? You shouldn't always be doing cardio 6 days a week. You shouldn't always be training.
Important. So important. I mean, like, I'm a captain in the London Fire Service, so I think it's important for you to understand that. I mean,
we also have to wrap this up because I just saw Wally falling asleep. So
I'm not
just
falling asleep.
he's
I'm not falling asleep. It's my nap time. So I think, like, when you look at the cardiovascular training, I think you got to look at the purpose of why you're doing it, and that's one of the reasons, right? If it's for general health and well-being, are you doing it for your job to stay relatively fit? Are you like are you a first line? Are you a fire officer? Are you a police officer? Are you work for the ambulance service? Are you basically your first responder? So I think
Let me interrupt you 1 second.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose this thought. We're discussing right now off season and setting yourself up that you don't have to be Mike O'Hearn dieting 7-8 meals a day, training 6-7 days a week, and doing. I'm trying to explain to you, Heath has set himself up to where he's a healthy 40-year-old man raising 6 kids and living a full life. And so I'm just trying to get you guys to understand you don't have to be psycho to do this health and fitness lifestyle or live a healthy lifestyle. So please continue.
No, I couldn't agree more with Mike that you don't have to go all out. People always say, I want to be like you. I want to be like you. I want to be like Wale. I think what you've got to realize to what you can do. Do you need to do cardio all year round? No, you don't need to do cardio all year round. But the most important thing is to incorporate some form of maybe some steps into your routine, some walking, so you can get that cardiovascular system working if you're not working it in the gym. If you're not, say you're training 3 days a week, or you can only train 3 days a week, what should you be doing? How should you be training? This is a very tough question for some people. So I think a lot of people don't have the commitment, or they don't have the time commitment that we have, the privilege to be able to go to the gym 6 days a week. It's not in their schedule. They can't do it. So if you can't do that, what can you do instead? What can you do to replace the cardiovascular training that you may have to do? Walk, take your family for a walk, go for a walk outside, take your kids for a walk, take the dogs for a walk. If you're only training 3 days a week, how should you be training? I know Mike's not a big fan of the full body workouts, but I would say, do what you can. Maybe you might want to do an upper split, a lower split, and an upper split. And then you can incorporate maybe another day to that. You might add another lower split. Do you know what I mean? It's just doing what you can without having to do tons of cardio. You don't need to do tons of cardio. I totally agree with what you're saying. But for me as a first responder, I think you need to incorporate some form of cardiovascular training into your routine to be able to train in the controlled environment. So,
and how many times should you work out?
As many times as you can.
Okay.
Ideally, I'll say to my clients, for optimum result, you need to be doing at least 3 days a week. For maximum result, 4 days a week, if you can. But most of the clients come to me and they say, I want to work out 6 days a week. And I look at them like, let's slow down. Let's drop you down to 5. So 5 days to complete 6 workouts. So complete. You got 5 days. So 7 days to complete 5 workouts. So let's drop you down to 5, because if we put you at 6 workouts straight away, and you only do 5, we're setting you up for failure straight away.
Can you answer the same?
Yeah. So,
and then I got a speed round for you guys.
I don't have an off season. I live my life fit. I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't get big and get small and ripped. I live optimized every single day of my life. And it's partly due to the fact that I want to be the most fit 60-year-old on the planet. I want to be able, someone asked me the other day, and it was a great compliment. They're like, what feat of strength are you going to do for your 60th birthday? Immediately, I thought of Jack LaLanne, because I've been doing all these different things lately just to challenge myself to see what I can do. So cardiovascularly, I will always be doing something to challenge myself, because our heart is a muscle. Like, you don't need to be on the treadmill like a bodybuilder all the time, but you need to train your heart like you need to train your bicep, and you need to train your quads. It is a muscle in your body responsible for things just like any other muscle is. So I just look at my body as this gift that I get to operate in, and I just want to be functional all the time.
But what about for these guys? I understand you're a bit of a crazy one like me,
right?
So, but I'm thinking more of the Heath Evans that just don't have that time now. The fathers out here that are working.
Wally said it. Do what you can the best you can. Don't let one thing ruin everything.
Yeah.
Don't let us say fasted cardio is the way to go, and then you throw the baby out with the bathwater because you can't do fasted cardio. It's your life. You are responsible for it. So you got to figure it out. I don't have the time. BS. You have the time. You have to manage your time better and fit exercise in. Look, here's the reality. Regardless of what fine points we give you, you have to exercise and eat right and get your mindset right and all of that, because if you're not, there's no treading water in between. You're either going that way or that way.
Yeah.
Period. There's nothing in between. So if you're doing jumping jacks and push-ups and body squats, do them as hard and as fast as you can within reason and get the benefit from those, because something is better than nothing.
I totally agree. I think whatever you can do within your capability, I mean, if it's a home workout that you could do, and you can only do, basic home workouts using your own body weight, then I'll tell you, carry on doing that. It's very important. Do what you can with the minimum amount of equipment that you have. And you can, if you go in there and think, I'm going to do don't go in. Maybe go in there and say, I'm going to work out for 10 minutes. I'm going to do some press ups, I'm going to do some squats, I'm going to do some abs. I'm going to do some sprints in the spot. Can you build muscle in 12 to 15 rep range? Build muscle in all range.
Okay, we're going to go into this. I want to answer some of these questions quick and to the point. All right, guys?
Let's go.
Tips to increase strength and muscle.
Lift weights.
Lift weights.
Doritos or I can't even see. Burritos or Doritos?
Burritos or Doritos? Burrito.
Burrito.
The Titan burrito. Viacom meals. Get it today.
How to maintain abs?
How to maintain abs. Be in a caloric deficit.
Eat right and exercise.
Yeah,
Man.
be in a caloric deficit. Eat right and exercise. Exactly.
We'll skip that one. Fastest way to grow your chest?
Incline bench press. Slow. Time under tension.
Eat.
Combine it with dumbbells. Research has shown dumbbells more effective than barbells.
British research.
Fuck.
Google that shit, man. Hey, you just cut me off.
That was.
You just cut me off.
Yeah.
Google that shit. Dumbbells way more effective than barbells. Fact.
That's a lame question. Explain what is love.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. We'll get a strip tease in.
Yeah.
What is love? Baby, wait.
Hey.
We'll get a strip
It's 5 times too big for me. Hey.
We get it.
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me.
He's drinking, twerking.
Oh my gosh.
Twerking on the live. Jeff, my camera's not working.